to Everything Juneteenth. My name is Lisa Jackson, and I'll be your host this evening. We have several of our community leaders and activists and organizers here today to talk about everything in Barrett County in reference to Juneteenth. I want to go around the panel and let everyone introduce themselves by name and their organization. So I'm going to start with Michelle. Michelle?
Hi, good evening. I'm B. Michelle, the brand coach. I'm also the founder of the Dream Big Scholarship Fund, which the foundation will be the host of our second annual Juneteenth Block Party and Fair. And so we hope to definitely see you guys out on the 18th.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
Yes, my name is Byron Miller, and I'm commissioner for the San Antonio Juneteenth Commission. And for 26 years, I've helped to facilitate and grow the San Antonio Juneteenth Festival and Family Reunion Picnic that takes place at Comanche Park number 2, there at 2600 Rigsby Avenue.
Ms. Jarman?
Hi, I'm Deborah Omowole Jarman, CEO Director of the San Antonio African American Community Archive and Museum, better known as SACAM, where our mission is to collect, preserve, and share the African American cultural heritage of the San Antonio region. We have 3 events that we are partnering with in the community. Friday, we will be at Comanche Park number 2 for a history harvest. Saturday, we're partnering with the Texas Kidney Foundation for a San Antonio Missions baseball fundraiser. And Sunday, we'll be out at Legacy Park within the eye of the Beholder Gallery.
Mrs. Gully?
Hello, my name is Danielle Gully. I am the owner of Perpetual Innovations Entertainment, the organizer of this year's Juneteenth Family Festival, which is held in Northeast San Antonio, which stands for the Juneteenth Family Festival. We call it the JFF. And just looking forward to meeting all the other amazing organizers throughout the city that's doing such a great, great job.
Ms. Watson? Miss Watson. Well, I'll say it for her since she's not in here. Renee Watson. Can you hear me, Ms. Watson?
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course I was on mute, right? I'm one of those people. Renee Watson, I serve as the director of the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Department for Barrett County, and we are hosting the educational film and community screening of Juneteenth, Faith and Freedom at the Tobin on Monday, the federal holiday, the Tobin Center from 2 to 6 p.m.
Well, guys, I think this is absolutely amazing that we have so many Juneteenth events this year. It's really broadened its scope. It's really broad in the age groups that are participating. And me being a lifelong San Antonian, this is like the first time that I've really seen so much diversity as far as Juneteenth events go. So what, Mr. Miller, because I think you have the longest running event here on the panel, like what do you think is driving that?
Well, like everything else, the media. The media is driving it because as the media started picking up and making it more a mainstream type of thing to talk about, then people started hearing it, some for the very first time, and others then decided that it was something that they wanted to be involved in. Mm-hmm. And so I'm happy that that's occurring because, not everyone grew up with that as something that they celebrated. Not everyone even knew about it. And so the more information, and obviously, and that's the whole thing, access to information is the key to freedom. And you'll see that on my tagline. And just like the slaves had no information, a lot of times people had none. And once they got that information, it then made them more aware and more conscious, and it made them just want to do something. And so, it's always good to do something as long as it's positive.
Yeah. And Mrs. Jarman with SACAM, and because Mr. Miller mentioned information and education, and that's kind of right up SACAM's alley. You guys are preserving the history of African Americans in San Antonio. So, like, what is your take on the just this outburst of Juneteenth activity?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. Certainly the media, as Commissioner Miller stated, but it's also the fact that it is now a federal holiday. So people are like, oh, buzzing about that and trying to figure out what's going on. And I think we are doing a great job in our community. Look at the events that we're having. And I was speaking with a young lady yesterday who's not from San Antonio, and she said she would have never guessed in San Antonio that there would be so many Juneteenth events
Yeah.
when you don't necessarily think of a large African American population here. So it's all of that. It's the work that we collectively are doing that's on that's a part of this discussion. It's the media. It's the federal holiday, and also I think we have birthed a generation of interested learners, interested in diversity. I think what we'll see at our events is there will be a wide range of people, age, race, sex, and color.
Yeah, and see, Mrs. Gully, they mentioned the expansion of Juneteenth and not thinking that San Antonio would have this much Juneteenth activity. And I know you're not a native San Antonian. And then at your press junket, you were talking to Erica Campbell, and I think it was Erica that said she grew up in California. She didn't even know what Juneteenth was. So since you're not a native San Antonian, what is your take on what we're doing here and how that applies to what you're doing with your Juneteenth event?
Look, I think it's absolutely amazing what everybody's doing. And I'm sorry, that's a hair and dust is getting to me today. But it's just amazing what everybody is doing. The opportunity to work with so many different people across all spectrums. Yeah, I'm not originally from San Antonio. My father was born and raised in San Antonio, which is ironic that I ended up back in his hometown. He was raised on the East Side, graduated from Phyllis Wheatley, and just to have an opportunity to bring something of the stature that we're bringing all across the board, from the baseball game to the park to so many different things, the parades that's going on in our city. We often talk about African Americans being at 7% in San Antonio, but that's still a lot of people. When you go to other areas, their populations in totality is the population of African Americans in San Antonio, and they still do things that are related to the African American community. So we have the opportunity to do as much as we want to. We have an opportunity to make an impact and to continue doing it bigger and better every single year with every single thing that we do. So it's an honor to be amongst all of these different people, all these organizations that are really impacting the community in such tangible ways.
Yeah, yeah. And Miss Michelle Thomas, and you also are not a native San Antonian, but you've become a native San Antonian.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
You become part of the community of native San Antonian. So when you were thinking of, because you're putting on a huge block party, right? So when you're thinking of the target audience for that, were you a little bit worried, a little bit?
Not at all, because this
Not
is
at all.
what I do every day for a living. So it was really kind of because I also have this background in these events from being a teacher and putting on events overseas as well. So this is really in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
And working in brand development, that's all I do is talk to people about target audience. So when I put this event together, I wanted it to reach a specific audience. And that audience ranges from 25 to 45. And of course, we're definitely going to get people outside of that spectrum because it's also geared towards kids. So being the founder of a nonprofit that provides resources and financial help for scholarships, this event is about the three things that hinder us as a black community, which is health and wellness. We're disproportionately affected by typically everything that happens between diabetes, blood pressure. Those are real issues in our community. And so that's why we have University Health Systems, Metro Health, and those entities that will be out at the event giving out information. Education is a big issue for us. So I think as a former educator of 17 years, it's important that our kids know, and the parents of our children also know what's available to them. I
Mhm.
believe in school choice because I don't think there's no one way to educate a child. So we will have HBCUs out there so our kids can get to see and experience as far as communicating with different HBCUs and let them know that they have options. As well as some of the local charter schools will be SA Prep, Essence Prep. So a couple of the schools will be in attendance, and obviously small business. In San Antonio, as we all have stated, like we are the minority in this city. So sometimes we don't get the best resources when it comes to building and growing our businesses. And so as a small business owner, it was important that I obviously included that. So we'll have resources like Charles Johnson with the certification agency, SAGE will be there, DHS with the city of San Antonio, River City Federal Credit Union. They have a great program to help you build your credit. So the whole purpose of this event is to bring together resources in the three areas where we have the most challenges on a day-to-day basis. And hopefully people leave there with ways to build and grow their business, resources for their children, and as well as resources on how to take care of themselves better.
Well, it's now that you say a lot of the part of it is education and community. I think this goes right into what Renee Watson is doing with the film that you guys. Can you tell us a little bit about the film and the goals that you have, Ms. Watson?
Oh, absolutely. This reminds me, 2022 reminds me of probably 1986. We are a community. When we launched the MLK March, Reverend Callis had spent many years marching for many things. Like Byron has been leading this effort from the commission for many, many years for Juneteenth. But we as a community are known for collaboration and building upon a solid foundation to go forward. But one of the things, I was in Reverend Callis's class, and one of the things he always taught us is to know why you're doing something and then what is the outcome. So serving as the chair of the MLK Commission for the past 2 years during COVID, you asked the question, what's different? Well, after the death of George Floyd, America became different, and how we recognize diversity, inclusion. So Rasul Berry, who is with the Daily Bread Ministries out of New York City, is the one who is in the film on a journey to educate and share the history and the story of what is Juneteenth, because we need to know, why are we celebrating? I grew up learning as a young person why we were marching, but this weekend everyone needs to know, what exactly are we celebrating? And this film helps us to do that. In 2021, President Biden on June 17th signed that national federal holiday. I don't know if many people know that that's the first holiday since 1983, when Martin Luther King's holiday became effective. That's the first additional federal holiday. So when we look at why we are bringing this film forward at the Tobin, if you are our age, most of us on here, we used to go to the municipal auditorium, and many of us had to go through the back door, and our parents and grandparents. So now we're showing this film about what is Juneteenth, why are you celebrating? Because if you were to ask the average person, what is the Emancipation Proclamation? They probably couldn't tell you. What is that?
Right.
So we want to be able to honor, and the grandmother of the march, Miss Opal Lee out of Fort Worth, who stayed on Biden to make that happen, and the vice president. We want to be, she's in the film, and she's telling the story, and she's 94 years old. So we want to be able to say, come out. It's sponsored by Bexar County, and it's being hosted by Judge Wolf and Rebecca Clay Flores, our commissioner. Because in 2021, Commissioner Flores brought forward, and we made it a Bexar County holiday for county employees. It's a City of San Antonio holiday, and now it's a federal holiday. So that's why we're doing this, and we just want to be able to celebrate on Monday, the actual holiday.
Well, we're talking about education, and we're talking about Miss Opal Lee, and when this was established, and that falls again right back into SACAM, because we have history of Juneteenth here in San Antonio. Deborah, does the SACAM have any photographs or historical documents on Juneteenth in San Antonio throughout the years?
Absolutely, we do. We are so excited. We have a couple of them on display at IKEA. We also have a Juneteenth exhibit that will be at Comanche Park on Friday and at Legacy Park on Sunday. But Juneteenth has been celebrated here in San Antonio since the emancipation. I'm sorry, since June 19th. And that is incredible. When you look at the pictures, when you read the old newspaper articles, when we have photos of Juneteenth parade in Alamo Plaza. And this photo is from the early 1900s. I don't recall the date. And as I always tell people, I am not our historian, nor am I our archivist. Okay.
Right.
So those dates just don't roll off my tongue as well as perhaps they should. But we have all of that. We have posters of Juneteenth celebrations that date back to 1894, right here in San Antonio.
Wow.
So this is nothing new. And you know, the word of God says there's nothing new to the sun. This is really nothing new. What it is, and I shared this again with someone today, African descendants have celebrated Juneteenth since June 19th, 1865, I think. So we have been celebrating all this time. And as Renee said, our job is to educate. If we don't tell our story, then no one else will. We cannot depend on someone else to tell our story. We can't depend on someone else to celebrate for us. We're talking freedom. And we can't depend on anyone, as Byron said, to tell our story the way we can tell our story.
Right.
When we communicate it, can anyone take anything from it?
Right. And you know, speaking of Byron, Byron, I need to give you a hand because you've been carrying this Juneteenth torch for years. Okay, I introduced you as having the longest running Juneteenth celebration here in San Antonio, and so I want to say thank you, and we all need to say thank you for continuing that. When did you decide that I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to continue this legacy of celebrating Juneteenth? What made you do that?
Well, that's an interesting story, and I want to say to Renee, because she brought up Reverend Callis. I'm a fifth generation San Antonian, and we didn't call it Juneteenth. It wasn't called Juneteenth. White folks called it Juneteenth. We called it the 19th of June. And so they're making fun of it by calling it Juneteenth. It's a marketing ploy, I guess, that it's stuck, and now we say it. But the reality is, it's people like Reverend Clifton Byrd, Reverend and Brother Coleman, that I remember that was conducting and having events. And so when I watched them growing up doing things, then I knew that, you know, other than us having events in our backyards, that it was something important. And so when their flames started to dim, that's when I said I had just been appointed at the time by Cindy Cryer to sit on the Coliseum Advisory Board. And so I had access to all the concessions and corporations, and then I was part of Leadership San Antonio, and I met a lot of folks, and we were able to pull a lot of money together to offset the expenses for the 19th of June. So this happened in 1996. And so there was another gentleman that went to my church by the name of Eddie Miles. And Eddie Miles said, hey, there's a new Juneteenth Commission that was being established by Representative Al Edwards, who wrote the bill, and it became effective in 1980. And he was putting together a Juneteenth State Commission. So I went to Reverend Byrd, and I said, Reverend Byrd, there's a new commission. And because I knew, like what Renee said, the order was, you ask, you know, those that are in charge if it's okay. And he said, go ahead. So I filled out the paperwork, And then I became appointed by Governor Bush and reappointed by Governor Perry. And then we were able to make the groundwork, and we put together all the necessary things to make a monument happen that's now on the south end of the Capitol with all the Confederate soldiers facing
Okay.
Congress Avenue. So that monument is the efforts of our committee. But,
Thank you.
But one of the things though that's really important is again the San Antonio Zulu Association was doing Juneteenth, and I went to them and I said I'm thinking about doing something about the 19th of June because I hear you guys aren't as interested in doing it. They told me go for it, and then they stopped doing it. It was out Camargo Park where they was doing it, and I said okay, if I'm not in your way, I'm not in your way, then I'll start doing it. So I remember the first year I did it, and it was not pretty. I don't think too many people showed up, but it was one of those deals where you learned a lot. And and Lori Thompson, she was actually there with us that first year, and so through the years though, we built a lot of relationships, and that's what it's all about. It's about relationships, and so we're able to have a free event at the Comanche Park. And we've had first class, world class entertainment free.
Yes, you have.
And so we're going to roll into something, and we'll talk about it later. And this may not be the time. It's going to be our Independent Freedom Festival. It's going to happen at the Civic and Convention Center in New Braunfels, and that's going to be patterned off the Essence Festival. But it's AKs and some others are helping us. We've got Ray Goodman and Brown and the Heat Wave that's going to headline it, and Stephen A. Smith is going to be there. And so that's just
Lord have mercy.
That's just the tease. That's just the tease.
Y'all better wear your cowboy jerseys. Look, so y'all heard it first.
I'll tell you what, he's gonna come into some hostile territory.
I'm wearing my Cowboys jersey just to piss him off. But it's funny.
Said, I just want to say to everybody else, I'm excited that we have all these events, and nobody has a monopoly on anything. So let's just make that clear. No one has a monopoly, but we should all respect each other and work together.
And I love that. I love that. And I wanted to say, you brought a smile to my face. That was my home church, First Providence Baptist Church, when I was a kid. Reverend Clifton Bird, rest his soul. That was right there on Clark Street on the hill.
Long, didn't you?
Yeah, Sister Bird and Reverend Bird. That was my home church. So this goes into so we have the young ones coming in. We have Miss Gully and we have Miss Thomas, and so. Juneteenth or 19th of June, because of our African Americanness, I'll put it like that, church has always been involved. We're going to worship. That's what we do. We're going to worship. We're going to thank God for freedom. And so I'm thinking of Miss Gully's Juneteenth Family Festival. Though it's not a church service, it's definitely a thankful service. And she's got some Grammy-winning gospel artists on there. And it's an all-day event. So what were you thinking when you were putting this together, Daniel?
My company is really centered around faith-based. So everything that we do is inspirationally driven. I am a writer, director, producer, promoter. I enjoy the arts all day, every day. So when we started thinking about the next activity that we wanted to do, the Juneteenth, what was a moment that we felt like it would be great to kind of bring everything back into the center of understanding and realizing that whom the sun set free is free indeed. We're all free. And there are some of us that may still, whether we are legally free or not, some of us are still in shackles mentally, spiritually, financially. So that's when we started talking about putting the event together, we wanted to make sure that the event was going to be something that everybody can get something out of. We really hone in on doing family-friendly events that everybody can come to, and you don't have to worry about your children hearing anything that's vulgar or, bad or anything like that. So we're doing several free events during our family festival as well. So we're going to have a marriage symposium, a single symposium, a veteran symposium. I am a military spouse. We also have an opening ceremony during the day where individuals have selected their peers to receive these different awards, prestigious awards, Diamond in the Rough, Beyond the Lights, People's Choice Award, Freedom Award. That Freedom Award is going to someone that's been incarcerated and have now turned their life around to do work for the better. We often give accolades and our flowers to people that we see every day that are doing great things, but sometimes people are behind the scenes that we don't see, and they don't get those flowers. So we are excited about having the opportunity to honor those individuals. And then we're also going to have, because we're focused on health as well, and what I've heard throughout this panel is that there's so many, we all have our area, our skill set that we're really focusing on this year. And that's why I think it's such a great opportunity to come and be a part of whatever it is that you want to be a part of, because it's out there for you. We have that mega concert that's coming up that you mentioned with Grammy Award winning Fred Hammond, whom I've worked with for the last 15 years, from his albums, me singing and performing on his albums, to us doing the stage. And he's going to be a participant in this concert, as well as Erica Campbell, Molly Music, and Tim Bowman and Faith City Music. And our host is Akintunde, because we want you to laugh a little bit too. So it is a day of full activities. We're going to have a carnival that opens at noon, and everybody can come out and just have a great time and get some information. We have health trucks that are going to be available, doing different screenings, voter registration, a slight Greek presentation that's going to take place as well, and tons of food trucks. So we're just really excited to really gather people together and celebrate the day. And again, educate them on what June 19th is. You asked me earlier, when did I hear about it? Being from Michigan and a little bit in Arkansas, I didn't hear about June 19th, Juneteenth, until I was older and moved back to Texas. And I think that's something that's so important, because I believe our young people are so far removed from our history, and they think it was so long ago, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't. So it's a great opportunity for us to really dial in and be inspired and encouraged to keep pushing.
Wow. Yeah. I'm thinking about the history of Juneteenth. And so that brings me to the SACAM History Harvest that you guys are having at Comanche Park. See how it all links up, because Mr. Miller is having his event at Comanche Park, and here's SACAM. And Mr. Miller, I hope you contribute that story to the History Harvest, okay? That SACAM is doing. So Deborah, tell us a little bit about the concept of the History Harvest.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
So this is why we do History Harvest. It would be awesome if we could go to the library and pick up a book that gave us all of the Black history of San Antonio, Texas, and the surrounding region, which our region is getting larger and larger. But it's not there. It's not there because we have not written those stories. So what we do at History Harvest is just that. We all, everyone on this call, everyone that we know, we are a part of San Antonio's history. So when I'll just use Byron as an example, Commissioner Miller, since you did, Lisa, the 26 years that Commissioner Miller has been doing the Juneteenth in the park, he has programs. Where are those programs? We want to scan them so that written history will be there, and so it's accessible. We then would record Mr. Miller talking about, in this case, the Juneteenth Festival and how he got there, the story that he just shared with everyone else. That needs to be documented. So we would transcribe it, and then it goes on our archive. And our archive lives in two places. It lives on a private server that belongs to SACAM, and then it is accessible to the public through the Texas A&M San Antonio Digital Library. We are one of the special collections there. So someone would be able then to Google, if they so chose, or Yahoo, or whatever you're using, San Antonio Juneteenth, and guess what? It would lead them, because of the way we put the metadata tags on it, it would lead them right to Byron Miller and the story of what he has done for Juneteenth. And then if we all tell our stories, it will be the same. But we're not just looking for Juneteenth. That is a way for us to get in the door. But we're talking about, for instance, we're working with the Phyllis Wheatley Alumni Association. So we are getting all of the yearbooks. We're getting report cards,
Oh
all of that
no!
stuff.
Oh
Yes,
no!
and there's stories. You know, we're talking about hall passes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That is our history. Phyllis Wheatley High School is no longer there. So if we don't capture that history, people will say, well, what was Phyllis Wheatley?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the first Black high school. So that is what a history harvest is. We want people to bring things, old photographs, church bulletins, funeral programs. My husband just picked up an envelope of funeral programs from one of his cousins. What do we do with funeral programs and obituaries? We're able to link together a very important part of our history. Then we
Yeah.
take that information and then we go looking in census data and newspaper articles and things like that. And that is how we are putting our history together. So that's a history harvest. We need to go out and dig for that history. And that's you all helping us by cleaning out those file cabinets, your attic and all that. And we don't necessarily want to keep it because some people are like, oh, I don't want to give that up. No,
Yeah.
we will scan it and give it back to you. So we don't necessarily have to keep it. And another big thing, Lisa, are those recipes that we are trying desperately to get.
Yeah.
And it's not because we want to steal you all's recipes, but it's so sad when, Aunt May passed and so did her pound cake recipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the pound cake that came to the family reunion, that came to the funerals, that came to everything. And there's a story behind it. So we don't
Right.
just want the recipe. We want that story because that's our history.
That's
So
our
that's what a
history.
history harvest is.
I love it because I made many a pound cakes with my grandmommy, and while we were cooking, we were passing stories. She's telling me this and telling me that. And that's how we pass it along. So I love that.
Absolutely.
I've got to tell y'all, Michelle Thomas has got to leave. She's got a vendor meeting, I think it is, in a few minutes. So if you want to give us just a last minute of where we can get tickets and where you're at before you log off, Miss Thomas.
So you can go to saj19blockparty.com. This is a free event, but we do want people to register so we can get an idea of how many people will be there. And if you register, we have a special gift for you. Also, we'll have some raffle tickets or door prizes or tickets so you can win door prizes. It's going to be an amazing event. It is going to be hot, of course. So definitely come prepared, bring your lawn chairs, umbrellas, whatever you need to keep you cool. There will be obviously food trucks. You'll be able to purchase beverages as well. And we will also be announcing our scholarship recipients because we will be awarding $10,000 in scholarships, which we were able to raise from last year's event. So we're trying to keep the trend going for that. And just before I go, I just want to say, like, Juneteenth is actually, I grew up in the Midwest, in Illinois, in the Chicago area. So Juneteenth was a part of my childhood and the things that we did. So this is really kind of nostalgia for me to be able to do this event, but also bring memories and have other people have memories, especially being here in Texas. I think that this is where Juneteenth originated from. And I would love to see San Antonio, just as many people that come to the march. I would love to see just that many people come to San Antonio for the caliber of Juneteenth events that will take place. And I know that it can happen. And so I believe in choices, and I'm glad that the city of San Antonio, not just the Black community, but the whole city of San Antonio now has choices on how they want to celebrate Juneteenth moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you. We look forward to now, what's the name of it again?
It's the Juneteenth Block Party and Fair. So we have a Facebook page, Instagram page, and a YouTube channel, and it's SA Juneteenth Block Party. But you can also follow the Dream Big Scholarship Fund, which is the actual foundation that's hosting this event, which is a 501c3 at dreambigscholarshippfund.org.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
You're welcome.
Now, I want to get to this big old film that Renee Watson has over there. I'm itching to get to that. So
the question you ask, and you know, this film gets me so excited.
I'm excited
because
too.
I am a native San Antonian, born and raised, but my heritage is in Brackettville, Texas, which is just a little bit further south of Uvalde. And we have a family cemetery because we're Seminole Indians in heritage. And if you know the story of the Seminoles, they were the runaway slaves from Florida, and they ran away to Mexico. When Texas Tejas was still a part of Mexico, before all of that changed. So having a film that is a documentary that invites the viewers to go through the story of Juneteenth. The filmmaker and the producers go all over the state, and you're following through the eyes of a Black man learning about the holiday from direct descendants of those liberated. The story serves as a parable to that offers hope and insight, that faith, because faith is the foundation of our freedom, can be the greatest weapon against injustice. So there's a musical performance. Show is an artist and author who he wrote part of the scores for the music. There's a spoken word performance by our own poet laureate, Vocab Sanderson here in San Antonio. Dr. Carrie Larimore from Trinity is given a lot of history and insights to the film. Rasul Berry is walking around, and he is the one that will be following, and he's from Our Daily Bread Ministries. And if you are in the church and you get that little book every month, it's called Our Daily Bread, and it gives you a scripture each day, which is your bread of life in the community, because it's all faith-based. That's the producers, and that's who will be a part of this movie. So we're very excited about it. It's from 2 to 6, and the movie is about 90 minutes long. We'll open the doors of the Tobin at 1:30. We have a DJ that will be playing appropriate music. Commissioner Rebecca Clay Flores will be the MC. We'll have remarks by Judge Nelson Wolf. We'll have someone sing the Black National Anthem. There will be a musical performance by those that are featured in the film. Then we'll have a panel to talk about their journey of making this film. And then you'll hear a little bit about the initiative of Bexar County to go forward in the years to come, so we can build this with the county's commitment and support from Commissioner's Court, and that's all of our commissioners, Commissioner Calvert, Commissioner Barnard, as well as Commissioner Justin Rodriguez. So we are very excited to bring this to the community. It's free, and it's at the Tobin on Monday, the holiday, at 2 p.m.
So let me ask you this. So
what does Juneteenth reveal about the nature of the struggle for freedom?
On June 19th, 1865, somebody got freedom.
How did a Bible that was used to justify slavery become an inspiration for liberation?
They didn't feel like they had been freed by their enslaver. They felt that they had been emancipated by God.
San Antonio, watch the new film and celebrate Juneteenth at the Tobin Center on June 20th from 2 to 6.
that is a great trailer. That is a great trailer. I hope everybody got to see that.
Yeah, so you can go to the June. Yeah, and it's on the Tobin Center's website. So you have to go. It's free to get in, but we want to be COVID sensitive. We want to know how many people are coming. We want to have social distancing. So we invite you to go and reserve your tickets. Bring your church, bring your children, and be a part of this event. And each one of you that are on here, you will see us at your event with our outreach information, because we are supporting yours and sharing, and we want to be out there to tell folks to come on Monday, the holiday. And it's just like we say for Dr. King. What is the saying? It's a day off, but it's a day on for us.
It's
right?
a day on.
So
it's a day on, not a day off.
So come and learn. You finish celebrating. Now come find out why you're celebrating.
There you go. So what do you want to see moving forward with Juneteenth? What do you want to see?
So, like I said earlier, I served as 2 years, and I've been a part of the MLK March. We want to see the information. We want to build a museum for Deborah that is so known worldwide of all this information.
Hold on.
About San
Saycam was in the New
Antonio.
York Times. Let me tell you. I'm bragging on it. Saycam's made the New York Times in February.
Absolutely, because people, when they look at the MLK March, they was like, y'all got that small population. How y'all got 300,000 people in the street?
Yeah.
That and you hearing Cisneros, former mayor, former secretary, to talk about that. So now let's talk about Texas, and we're in the middle. We're in the middle of 35 and I-10. You can't miss San Antonio when you coming through Texas. So stop here in Juneteenth, and we'll give you some history, and you can celebrate with all of these great events. And if we can turn it into a 10-day celebration or a whole month celebration, we need to do that in San Antonio.
Well, I'm going to make sure I stop down there at the Comanche Park, get me some barbecue, and some good old-fashioned Juneteenth. But Mr. Miller, Commissioner Miller, what do you want to see going forward, the future of Juneteenth? What do you see?
Well, let me say this. The largest Juneteenth celebrations in Texas were occurring in rural areas. San Antonio, for the last 25 years, has been the largest urban 19th of June celebration. Okay? That's bigger than Houston, bigger than Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have that record broken this year because Houston has Frankie, Beverly, and Mays.
I saw that.
And so,
I saw that.
But when you think about it, the reason why San Antonio has the largest MLK March, because it's the only entity. I mean, the march is just going in one direction. In every other city, they're going in all different directions. And so it makes a difference when you pull your resources together. But out in Comanche Park, one of the things I want to talk about too is, as we combine organizations, the Flotilla Boating and Fishing Club, the oldest boating club of African-American men, professional men that own boats when I was kids. And they're doing a fish fry. Their fish fry was kind of fading, and I said, well, why don't y'all come and join us? And now they're able to resurrect their organization financially, not by way of fishing and boating, but financially, as a result of what we do. And so, people don't realize that these barbecue plates we sell, I'm keeping them at $8 this year, and it's a struggle. But every organization that sells a ticket, they get $4 of the $8. All you do is sell a ticket and keep $4. And so I've done this from day one. The very first year, they were $5. I gave the organization $4, and I just kept $1. But we offset the event. Rudy's Barbecue, they contribute to us. They help. They do a lot of good stuff. Doc Holliday helped us kick off this barbecue to a certain extent. But, I really haven't talked about some of the events that are covered. We got young James Brown, Tony Wilson, who was anointed by James Brown personally to be following his footsteps. We have P-Funk Outlaws, members of Parliament, George Clinton's group, will be performing. We have a local band called The Legends that many of y'all may know. And we have many, The Clue. We have Carlton King performing with his bands. There's just a number of different organizations. And, they come and we pay them all. And, we try to make the money go around. So everybody gets a little bit of it. And people are calling me constantly because they want to be seen. Dee Dee does Dee Dee karaoke all day on Saturday, and on the 19th, this is the first time we're doing a 3-day event, and I'm crazy for doing it, but we're doing a 3-day event because I wanted to keep the momentum going based on this being the first year of the holiday. But people come out. There's so many people all day long that come out and perform, and they just enjoy themselves. But we're going to have Church in the Park. I've got Mama D, Gary Givens. and a host of important gospel, spiritual people in San Antonio that are going to head up Sunday morning. And so that's the first time we've done this. And we're expecting a pretty big crowd out there that Sunday morning. So as we piggyback with the Selma event, you know, they'll get warmed up there, and then we'll pass the plate out there at Comanche Park.
You hear that, Daddy? They're gonna pass the plate out at your event.
I need that plate passed this summer. Awesome.
So
and I
you
love
guys,
we just love Mama D and Gary. Yeah,
we're just excited. And so this is, we're not going to do this 3-day deal again, I don't believe. But this year we're doing it. Because normally we have a golf tournament on Monday at Santerra. Yeah. This year it got moved, unfortunately, to July 11th because they're having labor issues, supply food issues, so a number of issues. So at the last minute, we're having to move the golf tournament to July 11th. But we've done that golf tournament now for over 20 years. And so we used to do it at Fair Oaks, and now we're at Santerra. So there's just a number of events that, you know, we're excited about, and we'll continue to support all those, you know, like SACAM. When Deborah called me and said that she wanted to come out and could she, you know, do interviews, I was excited. I told her, I said, absolutely. And so, you know, we had secured the park and had done all that we needed to do to secure the park and pay the fees and pay for security. And so we're happy to help other organizations.
Well, there's another there are other events that are they're just not here to represent themselves. I believe Oscar Vic is still having the parade. Is it at Sam Houston? Does it go down East Houston Street?
It's at Sam Houston, and it's going to end at the park.
Okay, and it's at Sam Houston, ends at the park.
Now, let me tell you, Oscar's been working hard throughout the years with this parade, and believe it or not, I don't know how the mix-up is. I get so many calls from people about the parade. And I said, we got to call Oscar. But there are a lot of people that are interested. And so
he may pop in at any moment.
I'm
Say he may pop in on the panel at any moment. He's having some technological. But we got the Oscar Vic with the parade. And then there's the Negro League baseball event at Wolf Stadium, which is a fundraiser for the Texas Kidney Foundation and a partnership with SACAM. Boy, every time you turn around, SACAM is in the conversation. But they're having that Saturday, June the 18th, Deborah?
Yes, it's Saturday, June 18th at Nelson Wolf Stadium. And, you know, Juneteenth and baseball go together. Like I mentioned, we've been celebrating June 19th since 1866 here in San Antonio. And every newspaper article that was before the Civil Rights Act that we could find that mentioned Juneteenth celebrations here in San Antonio, they all had a baseball game. Every single one of them. There was the picnic in the park, and then there was baseball, and there would even be balls. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, putting on your finery and going to a ball. That's exciting to me. Anyway, so we said, why not? Last year 2020 was the 100th anniversary of the National Negro League. And the founder of the National Negro League is a Texan. Well, Black baseball is actually older than 100 years. However, again, the league itself, the organized league, is now 102 years old. So in 2020, we got the idea, why not use this as an opportunity to highlight some of San Antonio's best when it comes to Black baseball. So we will have a number of players from the South Texas Negro League. We will also have players that played professional ball. We have a special guest. I'm not going to tell you who these people are. You have to come, or you can follow us on social media.
Right.
So we
Get
have
your tickets.
Texas Ranger players. We have Chicago Cubs, I believe. It's either the Cubs or the White Sox. I'm so sorry. I think it's the Cubs. So so these are men that broke the color barrier to play for these teams. They will be in the house, pictures taken with them and all of that. And we're so excited. We will have our Invisible Diamond exhibit. But if you've seen it before, you need to come and see it again, because this year at the game, we are honoring the 1908 San Antonio Black Broncos, who won the pennant.
1908.
1908, and they won the pennant. Okay.
Right.
So we, our historian did a great job of pulling pictures together to come up with what we believe. And we have to tell everyone this. This is from a number of pictures. So it is, we don't know if it is the actual jersey, but we believe it's pretty close to the jersey that the Black Broncos wore. The San Antonio Missions will wear that jersey.
All right.
We're highlighting Smokey Joe Williams, who was the star of that team, and he is from Seguin, Texas. So if you've seen the exhibit before, you haven't seen the Smokey Joe Williams addition to our exhibit. So we're doing all of that, and it is a fundraiser. We have two fundraisers: our Blues Festival, which is during Fiesta, and then this event, which we are partnering with the Texas Kidney Foundation. So we're really excited. VIP tickets, and which is actually what will go to the fundraiser, is $75. But don't let that stop you. You can buy general admission tickets, come out to the game, even though Texas Kidney or SACAM will not get a portion of that proceeds. You can still come out, support us, meet the players, have a good time. There'll be fireworks after the game. It's sponsored by HEB. Thank you, HEB. We are just excited to, again, bring that piece of history home.
Yeah. And the $75 don't scare me. I spend more than that on DoorDash.
Thank you.
DoorDash, the fees are outrageous. DoorDash, Uber, like, no, for real. You support a great all of these. Your dollars that you spend on these events are supporting great causes, and they're keeping the legacy of Juneteenth alive for another generation. And, you know, we spend money on other stuff and other events that are not for us. So, you know, don't let the money keep you at home. Come out and socialize with your people, bring some people who are not your people, and get to know San Antonians. You know, this is a very diverse city, and we support a lot of different events, and this should be another one. And I started off talking.
I'm sorry. May I just add something, please?
Yes, ma'am.
So I talked about that jersey. Well, there will be a chance to win some. All of the jerseys will be auctioned that evening, so you can, well, you won't go home with the jersey that night, but it will be sent to you. You'll get to see your jersey and bid on it, all that good stuff. So we're excited about that. And plus, we have some really great silent auction items from the Tobin, from the Spurs, from Dillard's, from San Antonio Zoo. So, and again, you don't have, anyone can bid on those items. The VIP ticket will include an all-you-can-eat buffet, which does include alcohol if you so choose, reserved seats in the pavilion, and so you'll be covered, and there's fans, because like B. Michelle said, it will be hot out there.
It will be hot.
And so it's going to be a fun time. Bro Man from the fourth floor, and Martin from the fifth floor. Bro Man from the fifth floor is throwing out the first pitch. Monica Love, who is a person that can certainly speak on behalf of Texas Kidney Foundation, she will perform the Negro National Anthem. And so we're just excited. It's going to be a great time. Yeah. Thank you, Lisa. I'm done.
Love it. I love it. No, you know what? We're about to get off. You know, about to end it all here. We've been over here an hour with people, but I just want to encourage the people to come out and, you know how you bar hop? Let's just Juneteenth hop during the weekend. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. come get a little piece of every event and get the full flavor of Juneteenth in Barrett County. Be a part of history. Learn something from the film. Get your soul filled with Daniel. Get some barbecue over there with Byron, and get your baseball, your sports activity done with the Texas Kidney Foundation and SACAM. Get a little piece of all of it. I want to thank you guys for coming on, and thank you for the events that you're having. None of you are in your first years. You guys have been doing things for the community for quite a while, and I do want to thank you for your effort to keep the traditions alive. And you're all carrying your events with such dignity, and they're professionally put together. I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing what you do next year. And I really want to thank TAN TV for putting all of these people together to talk about their events. Laura Thompson over there at TAN TV, she's making waves, y'all. Y'all not realizing what TAN TV is doing. Thank you, Laura, for being a part of history here in San Antonio. I'm going to give everybody a chance. We're going to be like we're in church now. You got 2 minutes. Don't make me come up there. Don't make me come up there. You got 2 minutes. Give us your last pitch and let us know where we can buy tickets, where you can be seen, any of that. But you got 2 minutes. We're going to start right here on my left side with Mr. Miller. We'll go Danielle, we'll go Renee, and we'll end it with Deborah. Go ahead, sir.
Well, go to JuneteenthSanAntonio.com, and it'll kind of sum it all up for you. I mean, we do have a health fair. We have lots of food, lots of vendors. We probably have over 40 vendors that'll be out there. And so, again, it's a day to enjoy and a day to be informed. You'll also hear from a lot of our elected officials, because they'll be there, especially coming off the parade. And we'll have an opening ceremony at 12 noon. And with that said, I'd just like to say, as we expand the Juneteenth Commission, San Antonio Juneteenth Commission, you're going to see other events that will be occurring as more people have decided to work with us. And there's a lot more expertise, far more than I have. I may have a little energy, but there's a lot more smarter people than me that can make things happen. And I'm willing to work with them, and I'm willing to help this city grow. You know, as a fifth generation San Antonio, just not enough stuff for us here. That's why there's a drain of our youth. Our youth, they're going to move somewhere else, because this is just not enough stuff here in San Antonio from a cultural standpoint. So I applaud everybody that is doing what they do. I still say, let's try to work together. Let's not try to have so many events that are all at the same time. But if it can't happen that way, then so be it.
Thank you.
Danielle? Thank you. Once again, I want to thank TAN TV for this opportunity to be a part of such an amazing panel with great events and organizers. And to piggyback on what Mr. Miller said, yes, there is an opportunity for us to continue to build awareness and build entertainment with perpetual innovations, many things that we specialize in throughout the year. 15 years in, independent business, and started from the ground up, not knowing much about anything, but learning everything every step of the way and becoming a sponge in this business. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity that I've had to work with amazing people. Looking forward to the Juneteenth Family Festival and all the other events that's taking place. You can get tickets on Eventbrite, www.jff2022.com. You can also go to my website, www.daniellegully.com, and continue to support us as we are doing many, many things throughout the community all year long to make sure that we have events that people can come to and be proud of, and just have a great outlet for individuals as well. So once again, I thank you all for the opportunity to come and tell about the Juneteenth Family Festival, and I'm looking forward to all the other events that's taking place this weekend.
Hi, I think I'm next, Renee Watson. So we want to invite each and every one of you to take advantage of Monday after you celebrated to join us for the film Juneteenth, Faith and Freedom. Starts at 2:00 at the Tobin Center. You can go and find tickets and information at TobinCenter/Juneteenth. If you need more information, you need help registering, and maybe you know someone that might not have access to internet or devices, they can call my office at 210-335-2478, and we'll get you online and we'll help you process so we can see you on Monday, June 20th at 2 o'clock at the Tobin Center. We want to thank Laura again and all of this for this effort. This is great collaboration. I'm really excited about it, and I look forward to the years to come as we celebrate Juneteenth.
Thank you, everyone. So this is Deborah from SACAM, where our mission is to collect, preserve, and share the African American cultural heritage of the San Antonio region. You have no idea how proud I am to be a part of this amazing panel and this historic moment. And just for clarification, SACAM is a community archive and museum. It doesn't belong to Deborah. I'm just an employee, just an employee. It was founded, and I got to give a shout out to our founders in 2017. Mr. Everett Fly, National Humanities Award winner under President Barack Obama, and also George Frederick. But the archive and museum belongs to the community. So if you want to support the missions game, you can go to our website, sacam.org, and go to our calendar of events, or even it's on the homepage as well, and purchase your ticket. We look forward to seeing you at Comanche Park on Friday and at Legacy Park on Sunday evening, where we will be out with our Juneteenth exhibit. We have a number of pop-up exhibits that can go out to the community. You just have to ask us. If you're a nonprofit, there are some restrictions that apply, but it can come to your event or your place of business at no charge. If you are a for-profit organization, then there is a charge, because that is how we raise money. Most of our programming at SACAM is free, and also to come to our exhibit space, it's no charge. 218 South Presa, we're open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, and Sundays, 11 to 4. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the history books.
All right. Again, this is the end of our program, and I want to reiterate how much I appreciate Laura Thompson and TAN TV. When she called me, reached out to me and asked, would I host this? Immediately, I said yes, because this is an esteemed panel of professionals here in San Antonio. And I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I'll be visiting everybody's event. Okay, just know that. And I hope that the community was encouraged today. I hope they learned something, and I hope they come out, and I'm hoping that next year gets even bigger. So we're going to sign off, and we're going to say goodnight. I'm going to ask the panelists to hold their comments until we know we're off air, or until you sign out, because technology will get you. Okay. So we will see you guys next year. Thank you for tuning in to Everything Juneteenth 2021.